In today's video, we are going to take a character from mythology and compare his or her traits, skills, special powers with the popular fantasy archetypes from Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, and find out what class the mythical character may fall into, all the while creating an artwork of the character in that specific fantasy class or subclass appearance mixed with their root mythology. So, let's begin. Hello, this is Art of Shankan, a weird family who are fans of mythology, fantasy, and superheroes, and of course love to make art, read stories, and play video games. And here we will be mixing and matching all of them in together. And today we are taking Lord Hanuman from Indian mythology and we'll see what D&D or fantasy class we can categorize him. Now, Lord Hanuman is one of the, if not the most popular character of ancient Indian scriptures. In Hinduism, he is also revered as a god. But here we will be looking at only the aspects described in the scriptures to categorize him as a D&D class or subclass. Even in that, we will be highly nitpicking because Lord Hanuman is so interesting with a huge plethora of special powers, or should I say superpowers, that if we don't delve much deeper and take only one aspect or a few specific aspects of his actions, it will be impossible to put him in a specific class. But don't worry, we'll be taking the most well-known aspects only. The artwork here will also reflect the same. Now, we are thinking of focusing on his melee warrior aspects. In that case, there are possible three classes we can pick: fighter, monk, and barbarian. Fighters are the generic warrior class with mastery over all kinds of melee weapons. They wear heavy armor and can be a tank protecting the party or a melee damage dealing warrior, mostly dealing physical damage. Monks harness their inner strength, hone their physical self with ki, and fight barehanded or with a simple or martial weapon, while wearing light or no armor. Barbarians are another physical melee class who fight with their inner rage as a fuel for their attacks. They wield heavy two-handed weapons and are famous as a tanking class. Now, three of these classes appear to be excellent choices for Lord Hanuman, so we have to dive deeper. For this, let's take a page from the Indian epic Ramayana, particularly the situation during the Lanka war. In that war, Lord Hanuman was the vanguard of Lord Ram's Vanar army, fighting against the Rakshas overlord Ravan. Vanars are, according to Indian mythology, humanoid ape-like species with high intelligence and physical prowess. And Rakshas are what I can say demonic humanoids with magic and might. Now, this is way too oversimplification, but for the time being, let's go with that. We wish to make artwork videos in the future explaining all the mythological species, mostly humanoids from Indian scriptures and other texts, and there we will be presenting more and more details. Now, during the war, Rakshas High Prince Meghnad, who was a skilled sorcerer, managed to catch the Vanar army off guard with the help of his magic and also some unfair means. I am calling it unfair because it was a rule that after the sun goes down, all battles and skirmishes are to be stopped to treat the wounded and respect the martyrs. But Meghnad violated that. His magic and deception left hundreds of Vanars mortally wounded, along with Lord Lakshman, brother of Lord Ram. No treatment was looking promising and it was feared that they all might die soon. That's when Susain, the chief doctor of Vanar army, suggested that there is one specific herb, a panacea, that could treat all of them. But it only grows in the Himalayas on a specific mountain, and it is impossible to bring the herb here all the way south in time. However, our own superhero was not going to leave his comrades behind, so Lord Hanuman flew to the Himalayas and located the mountain. But now comes another problem. There were hundreds of wounded and he did not know how much herb was needed. So he devised an awesome plan. He grew his size many times, lifted the whole mountain and carried it on his back to the battlefield. As you can see, this artwork is depicting just the sheer awesomeness. But the question is why we chose this story and how it is going to help us picking a class. How Lord Hanuman gets to grow bigger? Well, according to the scriptures, He is well versed in 8 divine knowledges known as Ashtshiddhi. These are Anima, one can shrink one's size; Mahima, one can increase one's size; Garima, one can increase one's weight; Laghima, one can decrease one's weight; Prapti, one can get things as desires to a limit; Prakamma, one can adapt to situation as one wishes; Ishidva, one can influence nature; and Vasidva, one can influence living beings. Mind it, these are very simple definitions. With Mahima and Garima, Lord Hanuman grew humongous and lifted the whole mountain, and with Ishidva he influenced air and earth to fly back and forth carrying the mountain. Now, in D&D, there are two classes that can grow their sizes without polymorph or the portion of growth. First one is the Rune Knight subclass of fighter class, and the second one is the Path of the Giant subclass of barbarian class. At level 3, Rune Knights gets Giant Smite, at level 10, Great Stature, and at level 18, Runic Juggernaut, making them huge and they can even grapple enormous creatures. At level 3, Barbarians with this subclass get Giant's Power and Giant Stature. At level 14, gets Demiurgic Colossus, which enlarges them more with greater reach and much more damage. So, to choose from these two, let's look at the basic skills Lord Hanuman uses during the war. He mostly fought melee with or without weapons. There are several instances where he fought barehanded and sometimes with a great mace. Now, unarmed fight is not a known trait for fighters, but barbarians are associated with wielding giant two-handed weapons. Next is his armor, or should we say the absence of it. Lord Hanuman, like his Brahmar brethren, is renowned for charging into battles without wearing any kind of armor. This also aligns with the unarmored defense and reckless attack of the barbarian class. Looking at all this, I think I am going with the Path of the Giant subclass of barbarian class for Lord Hanuman. You may differ in your opinion and can comment on that in the comment section. Again, I am extremely nitpicking and ignored a lot of his other superpowers, especially his magical abilities, to focus on the melee aspects and primarily relied on the story of him lifting an entire mountain and carrying it across lands, forests and oceans. Now, if we look into the race similar to the Vanaras in Indian mythology, in Dungeons and Dragons, the closest can be the Hadozi, a monkey-like humanoid race. But apart from the ape-like appearance, nothing else is similar to the mythological Vanars of India. Hadozis have wing-like structure, they are shorter and scrawnier compared to humans. But if we look into Pathfinder, we can find a race that is almost exactly like the one Lord Hanuman hailed from. And that race is also called Vanaras. They are intelligent monkey-like humanoids that live in deep warm forests and lush jungles with their bodies covered in a thin coat of soft fur. They also have long prehensile tails and hand-like feet capable of well-articulated movements. I think this Vanara class in Pathfinder is actually inspired from the mythological Vanar race of Lord Hanuman. Coming to the artwork, we are not changing much of the attire of Lord Hanuman because being classed into barbarian, there is no need to put any armor on him. Here he is wearing as an armored combatant would wear. There is no weapon with him because in this scenario, he does not need to carry a weapon. This is a kind of fetch quest, only the thing to fetch is not only some herbs but an entire mountain. Although in the original story, he was attacked by a demon on his way there, but he did defeat the demon with his bare hands only. We did add some clothes wrapped around his hands, mostly because to lift or carry heavy things with bare hands, these types of wrapped clothes act as cushions to minimize the impact of weight at the edges or corners of the lifted object. The clothes around his waist are also a supportive measure. I am also thinking of drawing some fogs and putting other elements around him to show the colossal scale of the situation. So that's it. Now let's enjoy the rest of the process, and if you like our content, Please check out other videos on our channel as we are slowly building them up and experimenting with various ideas and presentations. You can also comment on what other mythical beings you want to see categorized, and if so, what class you would like them to be. And as I have said before, if you think any other class would suit better for Lord Hanuman, you can comment and we might be making another artwork according to that. You can also leave a like, share this video and also subscribe us, which will be a great encouragement to our future endeavors. And I think we'll be making more of these kinds of videos like categorizing characters into fantasy classes more and more. And we also have some merch and prints for sale and also open for commissions like this. Check out the link in our description for that. Thanks a ton. See you in the next video.